Morning, everybody. How are we all doing? Sammy, United People's TV. Some international break this is turning out to be. Everyone's complaining down here that I'm a couple minutes late. Well, we've got some serious stories to be running through, and I'm making sure that I'm absolutely fully prepared. If that means I'm going to be 60 seconds, 90 seconds late, and you're damn right that I'm going to be 60 seconds, 90 seconds late. Everyone seems to enjoy themselves a lot when I'm late. It makes me laugh. But good morning to you all. I will be speaking about the ongoing Antony situation, the ongoing Jadon Sancho situation. We're going to be speaking about Ballon d'Or nominations. I've started with some positive news here today. Why not? We'll speak about the Glazers just to bring it back downhill. And I'm going to be speaking about some other wild things. It's just like, my God. My word. My word indeed. Good morning to everybody. You all know that I'm generally quite a positive person. And I tried to find the positive angles. But even this week is really testing me. I'm late. I'm doing a waffly intro. What an absolute despicable person I am. But good morning to you all. Who's down here from the member gang? Let's have a look. Josh, I can see you there. Good morning to you. Manuel, one of the old school. I see you there. Gary Burton, how you doing, buddy? Saeed, we've got Robert, Paula Boyd, how you doing? Rogerio, Invest, Rambo. We've got Stu, you're there. We've got Lawsy Ray, Asan. We've got Vicky, nice to see you there, Vicky. Kenny, we've got Chris Diet, Stephen Reacts, DP, Ewald. Morning to all of you. Who's on Facebook? Let's have a look. Darren Lee Trainer. We've got Matthew Bartram. Chris Rook, how you doing, man? James Banda. Anthony Magalassi. Graham Rex. Good morning. Plenty of regular faces. Plenty of new faces as well. And this will be... Oh, one sec. This is going to be another important show. Every single show I'm doing this... Well, most shows I do are important. But there's some really important things that we will need to discuss. They're not the easiest things to discuss, but you're damn right they have to be discussed. Man, look at that down there as well, man. What? Even in even in the news that we're getting this week, we've still got Ricky gifting 5 memberships to new faces. If you aren't part of this community, you really should be. Big up to you, Ricky, giving 5 out. But look, let's start on some positive news. And this is fantastic news here. Mary Earps and Andre Onana. Let's go a little bit more full screen on that. There we go. Mary Earps and Andre Onana both nominated for the Ballon d'Or, for the female and the male, well, men's and the women's Ballon d'Or. Congratulations to both of those. Mary Earps, of course, hero for England at the World Cup, even saved the penalty in the World Cup final, and England still couldn't win. Oh well. And Andre Onana, obviously, you know what I think about how important Andre Onana is to this team. I think we've seen that. Honestly, if that was David De Gea in goal against Arsenal on Sunday, Arsenal wouldn't have sat off in the way that they sat off. The reason that they didn't press as much is because they knew that we had a goalkeeper now that would be able to get around that press. And it made a difference. Obviously, we couldn't turn that into a victory. Small margins in the end of it. But congratulations to both of those. And also, congratulations to a certain Rasmus Højlund, who has been nominated for the Ballon d'Or Trofeo Copa, which I'm guessing is like the youth one. You can let me know in the comments. I think yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before? He's also been nominated for the Golden Boy Award, or is that the same thing? That may well be the same thing, the Golden Boy Award and this. But anyway, look at he's on the list with Camavinga, Pedri. Xavi Simon. I didn't know he was going to be there. But can I just say congratulations to Jude Bellingham for winning the award? Because no one's taken that award off Jude Bellingham. I spoke about him early this week. I'm really going to watch his career at Real Madrid. Not like massively every single week, but I really hope he just continues on the path that he has started, because he's just going to be setting records. And it's awesome seeing Englishmen do that abroad at the age of 20 in the hardest environment in football. It's incredible. But so congratulations to Jude Bellingham for winning the award, but also big up to Rasmus Højlund for being nominated. Can't wait to see that kid start for us, man. Can't wait for that Brighton game. Jeez, that game can't come around quick enough, really. But so we are going away from positive news to kind of a bit of weird news, this one, right? Marcus Rashford there last season with 30 goals, 11 assists, won the League Cup, won Sir Matt Busby Player of the Year, won the fans Player of the Year, and Bukayo Saka down there with 15 goals, 11 assists, 0 trophies. And Saka gets a Saka gets a Ballon d'Or nomination ahead of Rashford. It's just a bit weird. That's the way I would describe that. It doesn't really make much sense that Marcus Rashford didn't get a nomination and Bukayo Saka did. Weird one. Genuinely quite a weird one. Let me see what you're saying down there in the comments. Vicky, Saka scored less, got the same assist. Doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And he didn't win a trophy. I don't know. Was it? He's nominated because he was involved in a better title run that ended with nothing. I don't know. It's just a bit of a weird one. It's all a fix. I'm not saying it's a fix, but it just does. I don't know how you. I don't know what the. Don't know how you choose who's on the Ballon d'Or list. Is it people getting? Are they nominated by individuals? The whole list? Is that what it is? I can't remember how the Ballon d'Or works. I think that's what it is. Is it all the no? But is that just to do with voting? I don't know how. I know how the voting works, but I don't know how the nominations work. Is it the same sort of thing? Weird. But look, right. I wish that I could be coming here, a big smile on my face, speaking about all the positives. Now, there are some positives sprinkled, seasoned throughout this video, but there's quite a lot of negatives that we need to discuss and quite a lot of important stories that we need to discuss as a community. I'm not going to bury your head in the sand and pretend they don't exist. Right. This one came up yesterday, right? This is, is it CEIS? Either way, they're the data guys who look into, well, data in football, and they occasionally present reports. And this here is just like an absolute abomination of how bad, a visual representation of how bad Manchester United's spending has been over these last like 9-10 years. Like the amount of money that we have wasted under the Glazers, by the way, not one penny of their own money. Can I just say that first and foremost? That's £2 billion worth of revenue and credit card spending, but nearly 2 billion spent. And look at that, right? With a net spend of minus 1.4 billion. And you can see where we rank in all of this, right? Chelsea have spent 600 million more than us, and they've actually spent on a net 400 million less than us, because we are so tragically bad at selling players. And it's because we buy incorrectly. City are there, right? They've spent pretty much bang on what United have spent. And that's probably the worst thing you can pull out of all of this. City have spent bang on what we've spent since 2014. And they've currently won the league 5 out of the last 6 years. And we haven't won it since 2013. Yet we've spent the exact same amount of them as they, and they were a club that had to basically build itself. We were a club that we were the club at that point. And we spent nearly 2 billion. It all comes down to the problem, as is shown here with the numbers, hasn't been the spending in these last 9 years. It's been who's been in charge of the credit card, who's had the credit card, who's had the money to spend, what's going on with the planning behind the scenes, the actual organizational structure of the footballing side of Manchester United, which of course all roads lead back to the Glazers. But it's just, that's such a sad fact that we've spent 6 million more than Man City in the last 9 years, and look at us now, and look at City, and it's gut wrenching. It really is gut wrenching. And I saw this, right? I saw this earlier from Adam Craft and of course from The Athletic. I thought it was a pretty prevalent point. We spoke about it yesterday. I was going to do a lunchtime video, but I didn't do it on the spending because I know that not everyone wants to talk about it right now. It's not exactly the most exciting conversations. No, sorry, the sale, not the spending. He was saying, look, it's just incredible, the idea that the Glazers could be looking at everything that's going on at United right now and going, yeah, I reckon we could get more. Yeah, everything that's going on, everything that has happened with the football club, with the financing and all the business side of things, with the actual credit card and the money owed and the Greenwood situation and now the developing Antony situation and the Sancho situation's a bit different. That's just kind of like, that happens at football clubs, right? Players speak out against managers. Managers argue with players. That's kind of part and parcel of a football team. But I thought this comment from Steve down here was absolutely spot on, right? That's exactly what the Glazers are in right now. If you've ever put a bet on, there's a cash out option. Say you put a 4-team accumulator on, 3 of them are winning. There's one left to play, and it's one of you're a bit risky. So you're looking at the cash out option. You put on a tenner, your cash out option 70, but you know full well if you wait, you could get 100. It's a bit greedy to wait because you know it's a bit risky. But that's it. That is exactly what the Glazers are like right now at Manchester United. They're sitting there with the cash out of 5 to 5.5 billion. God knows how much it is exactly. That's their cash out option. And they're sitting there going, no proof of it. No proof of it whatsoever. But they're sitting there going, I reckon if we ride this out, we can probably get like 7 billion, 8 billion. What do you reckon? Yeah, I reckon we could. And that's what, and United have just been left in limbo. Imagine being an employee. I know that we as fans, we're furious with what's gone on with the Glazers. But imagine you're employed by Manchester United. You work at Old Trafford. Since November, you've had 0 job security. You've got a family. You've got kids. 0 job security. You have no idea what's going on with the ownership. You have no idea whether your job is going to exist tomorrow, just in case the club gets sold and whoever buys the club gets rid of every employee. It's probably not going to happen, but you know what I mean. 0 job security for 10 months now, and it's not looking like it's going to change anytime soon. I hate them. So with every fiber in my body. And I just thought that was a very accurate way to describe what is going on here. And it is genuinely incredible. The Glazers are looking at everything that's going on with Manchester United right now and going, you know what? Reckon if we wait it out, we can get more. What are you saying down here about the money? David, you're saying, what's more alarming than that spend on players? Let me pull that back up. Is the fact we spent almost the same funding that the Glazers owing us. How's that allowed? Well, what is it? We've had over $1 billion has left the club on interest repayments. You're pretty much bang on, actually, when you say that. Over $1 billion's left the club on interest repayments, and our debt is still, I think, in total around about 900 million. When you include the money that we owe on transfers, when you include the actual debt that exists, and a couple more things, all in total, it's probably the best part of 2 billion, which is pretty much bang on that. Protosaurus, what are you saying, sir? The problem has been spending overpaying on players for years, giving large wages to inflate assets, which every aspect of our transfer policy for years, as you can see here, is just abysmal. You're right, overspending on players. We know United have done that for years, man. We have for so long, so many players. But also, we give massive contracts with huge wages because because of where we are as a football club, because of the looking at other teams around us, we have to try and lure them in another way. Money is the easiest way in that sense. Well, that was what Ed Woodward thought. And then it's like a cluster bomb that's just kind of gone off. Players that then don't want to be at the club. Club doesn't want players on huge wages. Other clubs that don't want to pay those wages. And it's just like a never-ending spiral. I like to think that we're getting on top of it now. But I don't think I've got too much confidence. And I'll tell you what, right? With we've just spent, what is it, 85 million on Antony? And I'm going to run through the developments that are happening around this situation. I've made this abundantly clear, and I will say every time I speak about this on this show, I'm not presenting an opinion of who is right and who is wrong and finger pointing. I'm speaking about what is an ongoing case, and I will say this every time because people just still do not understand it. It's not about saying who's right or wrong. We can speak about the accusations that have been made. We can speak about the facts that we know and the fact that it's an ongoing investigation, and we leave it at that. But Manchester United released a statement yesterday on Antony, and this is what the statement said. If you haven't heard the statement, I'll read it out for you. Manchester United acknowledges the allegations made against Antony and notes that the police are conducting inquiries. Pending further information, the club will be making no further comments. As a club, we are taking this matter seriously with consideration of the impact of these allegations and subsequent reporting will have on survivors of abuse. Because remember that anybody in the UK who is a victim of domestic abuse has a right to lifelong anonymity. That's by law. Not something that someone's made up. That's law. Jonathan, why don't you not talk about Antony as you did about Greenwood until we know? Because something has happened here. This accusation that's come out that has changed. I mean, not changed it, but I used the word deepened because it really has. And this is what's being said and being reported yesterday, right? And this has been submitted to the Sao Paulo police as part of an accusation that Manchester United were involved in covering up the club doctor visiting Antony and help. And that's why I've said it's deepened, right? I'm gonna read through what this says here. Her legal team is alleging that the support officer who came to help Antony tried to conceal the attack by calling a club doctor to assess her so that she would not go to a hospital and arouse any suspicion. So at this point now, this whole thing just seems, we definitely don't know all the facts here. And you know what, Jonathan? You're probably right. I kind of regret bringing this up now, but it's such a serious accusation. We're not talking about an accusation or a dispute between Antony and his girlfriend anymore. It's the concept that Manchester United are being accused of being involved in covering it up. That's the severity of that accusation, which takes this to a different place altogether. So Manchester United released that statement yesterday, and I don't know what happens from this point on, but that's pretty terrifying, really. That's what I wanted to speak about. As I said, you know full well that I wish there was more positive news that I could be speaking about, and we're going to be speaking about Jadon Sancho next. But I'm just presenting what has been. And the reason I'm saying that, and I'm saying this is because this is coming from her legal team. All right, so this is what she's put forward to the Sao Paulo police. All right. Although with that one, I know I'm not going to pass comment on that. I'm not going to pass comment on it. But this is what's being reported. Danny is saying, look, I'm not taking everything as truth. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm talking about the accusations, and I'm talking about the conversations that those accusations open up, which is this one. And what I'm going to be moving on to now is to speak about the Jadon Sancho situation, because there's been, I wonder what it is as a percentage, because I don't feel like it's completely split. I don't think it's like 50-50 as to whether Ten Hag. In fact, I'm going to do this as a poll on here today. I haven't done this yet. Let me quickly get this up. Right. Was Ten Hag right to say Sancho's performances in training weren't good enough? Which is what he did. That's what Ten Hag did. I'm going to leave that poll there because I'll be interested to see what the community says. In my opinion, Erik Ten Hag did everything that he possibly could last season to take Sancho under his wing. For everything from his sort of like dipping form after Leicester, to sort of keeping him away from the press at that point, to giving him 3 months off, to bringing him back in, to introducing him slowly back in. I think Erik Ten Hag could not have done more for Jadon Sancho. I want to know what you think about this, and I'm going to run through what I've got up here, right? First of all, Jadon Sancho still got that pin to his account. I did a tweet about this yesterday. I didn't actually realize that Jadon Sancho had this pinned immediately, but apparently he did. but he's still got that pinned to his account. He's confident in what he said being the right thing to say and hasn't backtracked on that. Now, when it comes to voices of the Manchester United wider community, I really respect what Andy Mitten says. I do think that Andy Mitten's quite a fair level to sort of understand kind of not where your opinion should be, but I think it's a good measure. Andy, of course, who's been the editor of United We Stand for what, 20 years? No, 30 years now, I think. And he said this. He said, look, Sancho has not been made a scapegoat, and instead he needs to repay Ten Hag for his support. Go into his article a little bit further here. Ten Hag, according to many sources within Old Trafford, has looked after Sancho. The manager was proactive in building a relationship with the player. He was friendly, positive, engaging, and helpful as he was with other players. When Sancho needed help the month after the Leicester goal following a slump in form, Ten Hag was there to help and support him privately and publicly. And that's really, Andy there kind of reflects exactly where I personally stand with the Sancho situation. And Rob Dawson from ESPN publishing this morning. And I personally do think this is the consequence of this. You could call it Sancho challenging his authority, but it's I suppose that's the same thing as undermining someone's authority, is the exact same thing as challenging it. When it comes to being a public scapegoat, I don't think has Sancho ever been a public scapegoat at United? Because I'm pretty sure Harry Maguire's taken all of that from him. I'm pretty sure that the overwhelming majority of United fans pretty consistently have always been in support of Jadon Sancho. Anytime he does something good, we will speak about it. We will highlight it. Anytime he does something bad, we're willing to give him a little bit more time. I personally think overall, I think that Jadon Sancho's had a lot of support from United fans in a public sense. Now, there's a comment up there, Jonathan. I'm going to pull this one up. You're saying, if he was so supportive, why has he felt the need to publicly say this? Behind closed doors, he should have spoken to him. Let's rewind to last season when Ten Hag did everything behind closed doors. 3 months off. I will repeat one more time. 3 whole entire months off mid-season when we weren't exactly stacked in that position last season. 3 months off, and you're telling me, Ten Hag shouldn't have said it publicly. If Ten Hag did that, which he did, then he has exhausted everything that he has tried beforehand. Taking that private approach, arm around the shoulder, doing everything that he possibly could have done, did not get the response that Ten Hag and his coaching staff required. Therefore, Ten Hag decided to say in public, I mean, it's not as if he threw it. He didn't remember when, was it Mourinho and Shaw? When Shaw put in an amazing performance, he said, well, that was the body of Luke Shaw, but it was the mind of Jose Mourinho. That's a player being humiliated and scapegoated by a manager. Let me see what the poll is saying here. Okay, so we've got 500 votes here, and 82% of you, it's a little bit more than I thought it would be, I'll be honest. 83% of you are saying that Ten Hag was right to say that his performances in training were not good enough. And I'm fully in support of those of the 80%, man. I feel that Ten Hag has really tried the private approach for months and months, and it hasn't worked. Clearly, it hasn't worked. So he's now gone for a different approach. Jack, you're saying different situation. If he wasn't playing well when he was dropped, he simply hasn't performed consistently. If United manager backed him and was backstabbed. Backstabbed? I suppose, yeah. I imagine Ten Hag and his coaching staff are going to be like, wow. Has he really done that? Remember how was it last? Was it after? Oh man, I remember when that was. Do you remember after what game Ronaldo did his surprise interview? See who gets it first in the comments. I remember it, and I remember why I was annoyed about it. I'm gonna sit here and wait for you to see who gets it. After what game was it that Ronaldo ended up doing that interview with Piers Morgan? It's on a Sunday night, I think it was. Sure, it wasn't Man City. You see down there. There you go. Jason, you got it right straight away. So did Ulo Olawafemi and Vol, the producer. It was Fulham away. And the reason I was particularly annoyed about that was because Garnacho had just properly announced himself. Got that late winner, and we were desperate for it. Garnacho came up with the clutch goal. And it was such a moment for Garnacho. And then Ronaldo goes and does that interview. And I'm like, you're kidding me. Like, all the spotlight was taken away from Garnacho, where it was so deserved, and it just went straight onto Ronaldo. And Ten Hag obviously didn't know about that. And we know what happened then. Ronaldo, he was shipped off. I don't know whether this is serious enough for us to confidently say that Jadon Sancho won't be playing for Manchester United again. I mean, the transfer window closed like 5 days ago. I mean, the Saudi transfer window closes today. He's not going anywhere. Sancho's not going anywhere. I don't know what the solution. I type in the comments here, right? We can argue and debate, and we have done, and we have a better poll there. We can argue and debate as to whether Ten Hag was right to do it or not. But what do you think is going to happen now? What do you think will happen next with Sancho? I'm not asking for your opinion on who's all right and who's wrong. I'm not arguing about that. What do you think is going to happen next? What do you think Ten Hag is going to do? Because I think that Rob Dawson's pretty right there. I really do feel that Ten Hag's going to come down on Sancho pretty hard here. Let me see what you're saying in the comments. Mick, you're thinking Sancho going back to Dortmund in January. Lyndon, you think he's going to play for the under-21s for 2 months. Sell to Saudi Arabia. I don't think that's going to happen. I think the Saudi Arabia transfer window closes today. Sam, if Sancho plays, it undermines Ten Hag's authority. Stays till January, then he goes away. Danny, you think he'll be sold? Jonathan, you think he'll back in the fold at some stage? The club will force him to smooth things over. As I said, I think I said yesterday, I've got a hunch that there'll be an interview with Jadon Sancho where I imagine he'll tell his side of the story, and I'm genuinely interested to find that out. I want to find that out. I want to know more about what's gone on with Jadon Sancho in the mind of Jadon Sancho so I can understand and empathize more with him. Because as football fans, all we can really judge on is what happens on the football pitch. We don't even get to watch training. We get to watch their body language in interviews and what they say in before games, and we get to watch them in a game. We get to watch them for 90 minutes. And that's what we can judge players on. I'd love to know a bit more. Going to play for the reserves. He'll play again, and Sancho Ten Hag will sort it out. I think he'll be sold in January, says Josh. Ross saying Sancho needs a Dortmund-style turnaround. And that's a big thing. And I mentioned this in a video early this week, right, on Jadon Sancho. The last time that Jadon Sancho said that he was humiliated and scapegoated was at Dortmund. And that was after he turned up late. He returned late from international duty and then got suspended for the, well, not suspended, dropped, same thing. He got dropped for the Mönchengladbach game. And then I believe the game after, well, game or second game after, Dortmund played Bayern Munich, and then Sancho was taken off after the 36th minute. Wasn't injured, was just a tactical situation. I think Dortmund lost that game 4-0. And that was when the story came out. David Ornstein reported it, that Sancho felt humiliated and scapegoated. And then after that point, Sancho went on an insane run of form. Let me pull this up for you here again, right? Let me Sancho stats 2019. That should bring me up. I should bring him up. Here you go, right? This is it here. Let me pull these up for you. I think I ran through this in a video earlier. I ran through this in my Sancho video earlier this week, but I'll do it here live on the show with you to show you what I mean. Right. Where is it? There you go. Right. So the last time Sancho came out and said that he was being humiliated and scapegoated was at Dortmund here. And that was, as I said, he got suspended for the Mönchengladbach game. A few games later, they played Bayern Munich 4-0. He was taken off in the 36th minute, right? But look what happened in the 10 games after. Even more than 10 games after, really. It was this game here against the 4-0 against Bayern Munich where he was taken off after 36 minutes. And look at that. Next game, goal and assist. Goal. 2 goals and assist. Goal and assist. Goal and assist. Nothing. Goal, assist. Goal, assist. Goal, assist. Assist. Goal. Assist. Goal. Assist. Assist. He ended that season with, what was it? 17 goals and 17 assists in the Bundesliga. And that rich vein of form came after he said that he had been humiliated and scapegoated. I'm still hopeful. But it might require it could require Erik Ten Hag to swallow some pride and say, you know what, maybe I shouldn't have said that in public. But I've tried everything. Maybe there's another conversation that needs to be had. But Ten Hag is a disciplinarian. We all know that by now, right? And Sancho could well become the latest victim of that, if you want to call it that. But I don't know what's going to happen next. I don't think he's going to get booted to the under-21s, all right? I think what is more likely to happen is clear the air talks between Ten Hag. You could possibly see Jadon Sancho disciplined. You could possibly see a fine from the club. You could see that. Given that Jadon Sancho still has that as his pinned tweet, I don't know whether Sancho is going to come out and apologize. Mo, you're calling it Noah Lang 2.0. Oh, that was kind of mid-game, wasn't it? That was when Erik Ten Hag was telling Noah Lang what to do and what not to do, and Noah Lang spoke back, said, no, sod you, screw you. And then Noah Lang ended up getting loaned and booted out of the club. It feels like it might go down clear the air talks between Ten Hag and Sancho and a fine. I don't think he'll be booted to the under-21s, and I think United will be looking at exit options. But ladies and gents, I don't want to be the bearer of more bad news, but our exit options for Jadon Sancho are extremely, extremely limited. He's on a bumper contract at Manchester United. He's contracted until 2026 with the option to extend to 2027, I think. Or it might be one more, actually. It might be 27 to 28. He's going to be tough to sell because of his wages, because of how much we pay for him. And it's a fair question. How would you react if your boss, if you had one, walked out and publicly questioned your professional integrity? If I had no reason for him to do that, I would be furious. I would be angry. But if I was honest with myself and I said, you know what, I can semi-understand why he did that, then I'm not sure I would release a statement. The fact that Jadon Sancho has released that statement really shows that he totally disagrees with what Ten Hag has said. Totally disagrees. It's not like he might agree with it and say, oh, okay, well, fair enough. I understand some of it. He's like, no, sod that. I always train well. Completely disagreeing with him. The only reason I would argue back against my boss in that sense is if I felt he was utterly, utterly in the wrong. Maybe say it down here. Matt saying, why is it just taken as a given that Ten Hag was accurate in what he said and truthful? I can easily believe he's scapegoating Sancho to shield Antony. Dude, do you want to go work for the Daily Star? You've just written an article there. You've written like 4 assumptions in a row. So if this he's lying there, he's doing this, he's doing that, and he's doing this to protect that, and then this has happened. I'm not going to do that. Right. I would say I'm going to move on, but I can't believe that this is a thing. I can't believe that this has happened. Right? I genuinely flabbergasted that this has happened. Let me tell you what the story is. So Jeff Konopka was a coach of Manchester United's ladies team for nearly 20 years. And he was convicted. Let's go here. He was sentenced to 4 years in prison in 2011 and put on the sex offenders register for a decade after being convicted of 19 offences of indecent assault and gross indecency against girls between the ages of 6, under 16 and 14. And Manchester United recently handed him back at the club as a guest of honour. Are you really telling me that nobody at Manchester United knew about that? It's left me genuinely stunned. Genuinely stunned that nobody knew that. Spent 4 years in prison. And after that, he was recently visited Old Trafford as a special guest during a match. I'm like, what? Everyone's like, honestly, it's like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. How on earth did the club not know about that? Man, it's just, the news this week has been, it's really has been. I'm going to try and sort of end the show and the conversation on a slightly more positive note. Hydro, you're down there saying, what did you say there? That caught my attention. So I'm going to give up and start watching basketball. Got my Chicago Bulls vest on here. No reason. I think I bought that after the last dance, actually. It looked nice. Plus, it's hot as hell today. I don't know why I'm wearing this because I don't really want to do a show in a vest. But it's hot. Let's go out. Harry, you sent in a super chat. Let me see what you're saying here. Read this first. Harry, you're saying that. Thank you very much. You're saying pundits and like Piers Morgan are really disrespecting Ten Hag. United is playing a moment of magic, but tactical at the back. Now fearful. Both our centre backs. There are some positives to take from the football, but there's certainly a lot of work to be done. I think that the game against Brighton is really going to show, I hope anyway, show a level up from what we've seen this season. And this man's obviously going to be a big part of it. Sofian Amrabat there, training with the Morocco team. How's that for a bit of positive news, all right? Our new signing isn't injured. Our new signing is fit enough to join up with Morocco and their international team during the international break. So he should be fit to play against Brighton, fingers crossed. Now, I'm not sure if you watched that video. Not many people did because it's the international break and there's a real sense of doom and gloom around the club and the fans. I understand why so many people just go, you know what, I'm just going to switch off from United for a week or two. Sometimes I think, I wish I could, but I can't. And this was Amrabat and his first interviews, and there was a few real nice sort of quotes from it, but this is the one that really stood out to me. And if Amrabat gets injured, I will take full responsibility for that. I'm not laughing. Please don't. But he said this. He goes, like, to tell you the truth, he was asked about his hobbies outside football. To tell you the truth, I remember when I was playing at Utrecht and Erik Ten Hag said to me one time, football is a way of life. And I think that is the truth. And he was saying that there's so many games and you have to eat right, you have to recover right, you have to sleep right, that it really is. It's not just a 9-to-5 job. To be at the very top level in football now, you have to live it, breathe it as a lifestyle. Once upon a time, you could be Brian Robson and was it Gary Pallister and the rest of them getting boozed up after the game, enjoying it, sometimes coming to games hungover. I mean, that may have worked back in the day, but it's just not possible. The level of the quality of football has gone up way too much. I just thought that was a really nice quote to come out there from him. Malp saying, doesn't Amrabat have a dodgy back? That's already been sort of dismissed. He's there training with Morocco. Let's watch him play. I'm looking forward to it. There's a couple of super chats here. Let me read these out. Don't want to miss any. Ryan, you said this and send him to Al Attitude. I'm guessing that's a little Saudi joke there for you. I don't think he's going to be going to Saudi. Ahmed, you sent a super chat to, but he didn't say anything. I can't read that out, man. Harry saying what we need is Patrice. what we need to defend straight after goal 3. Yeah, mate. Conceding goals straight after scoring, I think it has to be one of the most infuriating things in football because it is so basic. So basic. I remember my under 9s and under 10s coaches shouting at me for many reasons. But one of them, whenever you scored, is just focus, concentrate. Don't just get excited. It's like, just scored a goal. Yeah, go on then. Oh, we conceded. Brilliant. Great news. United have done that twice against Arsenal the last 2 games. I also saw that Shaw's with the England team. My question is why? Manuel, I saw that yesterday. I thought it was really weird. He was there. I'm presuming that if he's there, he's there with United's permission, and he's just going to be doing some weight training there. But yeah, Amrabat should be fine. Right. This is a little bit on Martinez's injury. This is from the Argentina boss. He goes, look, Martinez, as you know, had an issue with his feet. He had surgery a while ago. In the last game, he was in pain, went out as a precaution. So that is why Martinez went off the pitch against Arsenal. They've done studies, and he's all right. He'll be with us if we want to risk him. It's an uncomfortable situation. So effectively what we're hoping for here is the Martinez doesn't play in Argentina's first game, and maybe he could feature in the second. But if you don't need to, don't play him. That's what I'm hoping with Martinez. He doesn't play in either of these 2 games. Yeah, but he's fit. He was taken out as a precaution, so he must have felt something in his foot. Now, you want me to finish with some positive news? How about this? All right, I've got some positive news. If this doesn't deserve a like on the video, then nothing else will in this video. I'll be honest. You can see here, this is Kobe Mainu on Instagram. Oh, that's on the wrong screen. Doesn't help me, does it? Let me go here. This is Kobe Mainu on Instagram yesterday, and as you can see down here, whoo, there he is. My name's Kobe. United badge. Scroll down there. TikTok indeed. Kobe Mainu, hopefully back sooner rather than later. And I'm excited. Yes, I'm excited. I think he can have a genuine impact on our season. I think that's how good he is. I don't think we'll be seeing Mainu start back-to-back Premier League games anytime soon. But I do think that Kobe Mainu can come in and add something into that midfield, and we need additions. Amrabat coming in, Mainu coming back from injury, and all of a sudden in midfield we've got, and I'll tell you what, this is my lunchtime video for today, and I think this is a really semi-positive and also an important video to do. I'm going to be doing a full assessment of Manchester United's squad by position. We're going to be looking at the strength in depth of the starting 11 and also the subs behind them and also third choices. And we can see exactly where the weaknesses are and where the real strengths are and how our new signings have come in, Amrabat and Horden, and really helped bolster that. You'll enjoy that video. I think so anyway. We're kind of distraction from everything that's going on right now. And you know what I didn't realize? Right? I did not realize that Ahmad had surgery. Has that been said anywhere? Has anybody mentioned that? Because I don't really remember anybody mentioning that. Because that is some swollen ass knee. Haven't had surgery myself. I know what sweating looks like, and that is a post-sweating. That is a post-surgery swell right there for sure. Remember with my dad. Big up, Dad, if you're watching. My dad had knee replacement surgery, and his knee was just like a balloon for so long. Obviously, all the inflammation. I never heard that Ahmad's injury was bad enough that he needed to get surgery. So I had no idea when he's going to be back. I don't know how early that photo was taken of his knee. I don't know whether that's, I mean, I don't know. You wouldn't really be training on that, would you? Or maybe that's a post-training swell. Sod knows. Either way, I did not know that Ahmad had surgery on his knee. Al, you're saying, what's Mason Mount's role in this team? Me and Who was it? Who was I speaking with about that? Neil on the pod. He's basically saying that Mason Mount is effectively going to be a £60 million squad player for United this year. And I think that's probably right. Richard, I have spoken about Rashford's omission from the Ballon d'Or. That was at the start of the show. And look, let's finish the show with a nice little goodbye message from Eric Bailly, right? This is what he said after making the move to Besiktas. As I leave this club after many years of incredible memories, outstanding teammates and trophies, I want to express my profound gratitude. This chapter may be closing, but the friendships and memories will forever remain in my heart. The fans here are the real champions. Thank you 100%. Hey, dude, man. I wish Eric Bailly the absolute best. I hope he goes to Besiktas and he actually maintains his fitness and actually just enjoys a year of playing football and tries not to kick anyone in the face like he did at Marseille and gets banned for how many games. I hope he enjoys it. It was right for us to move him on. I can't believe how difficult it was for us to move him on. But look, good luck elsewhere, Bailly, and thanks for his relationship with Zlatan. That was quite funny, to be fair. Look, last couple of minutes of the show. Fire in your questions. It's man, I honestly don't know what to say. That news about United inviting a convicted paedophile as a guest of honor because they didn't know about it. It's really shook me. I'm like, how does that happen? Really, this club, man. This club. Carl, you're saying, Sam, do you think Ten Hag will play Bruno, Amrabat, Casemiro and Amrabat in midfield? Yes, I do. I think that will probably be the starting midfield trio for Man United. So Mason Mount's going to have to be... There's somebody down there, I can't remember who it was, questioning whether maybe Bruno could get pushed out to the right, depending on what's going on with Antony, and Mason Mount through the middle. Please don't push Bruno out to the right. I know it worked in like a short-term stopgap. Don't put Bruno out to the right, man. Please. Got to put Pellistri there. If it's not Antony and Sancho, that is. Peter's saying, Sam, do you think we will ever have an incident-free season? I'm sure we will, but I think it would only happen when we've got new owners. Because it all goes back to the top, ladies and gents. It's all about... everything here is happening... Well, not everything. I can't put everything down to them. But it's about the culture of a club. We've got part of it right. There's still so much that needs to get right. I mean, sod knows what I'm going to be speaking about tomorrow. Seriously. I have no idea anymore. Lunchtime video, though. I think you'll enjoy it. I'm going to be assessing the full squad strength and depth. Thank you all for tuning in today. I can't wait for this international break to be over. My word. I'm looking forward to football being back. My word. And hopefully we win. Please. Thank you all for tuning in. I'll see you tomorrow morning at 10 for a Friday show. And yeah, I'll be back at lunchtime today as always.